So in order to really get a full grasp on trunk bus, we're going to have to do a little overview of how circuits work in PVFARM. If you'll notice this block here, it's all different shades of blue. Those shades of blue are correlating to a combiner box, like this combiner box would go to these 5 trackers here, and so on and so forth. And the way I just selected that is I selected my combiner box. Then without clicking anything else, all I did was I pressed page down on my keyboard, and it automatically went to everything that is connected to that box. That's because if I open up my Model Explorer here, I can show you exactly what is happening. This is going to be where we get into the subject of parents and children. So in this case, the DC combiner box that I have selected is the parent of these 5 trackers who are the children. So if I select here, you see I can go to parents or to children. In other words, it will go up or down in the hierarchy. So I go to children, it goes down, I go up to parent 2 times, and it goes to the inverter. If I were to go up one more again, it would go to the transformer, then one more again, and it goes to our substation over here. So that's kind of how parents and children work. This is helpful in understanding that PVFARM has placed these trackers in the same circuit that is being combined in this combiner box. I'm going to stretch my boundary down a bit. Then let me generate my layout again because I want to get 2 high trackers. Okay, so here we have that, and I did this using horizontal trunk bus. So here I have a 2 high configuration, and I can come to my combiner boxes, go page down. It looks like for the most part they are grabbing to the side, page down again. This is probably the best layout for it because we don't want it to be going across from the top to bottom and crossing where that line might be. And we see here that the system is only doing groups of 5 or 4. It's trying to group these in the way that makes the most sense without overloading any of the circuits. So here in the middle, we've got this one and this one. So I need the combiner box for this one, but where's the combiner box? To find it, I can click on one of the trackers and then I go page up. Okay, so there must be 2 combiner boxes here. Let me check. And we can see that yes, there are. Okay, so let's say we've got all these groups of 5 over here, and then this group of 4 at the end. So let's say maybe I didn't want my smaller group to be the one at the end. Maybe I wanted it to come more over here. So let's say I want to take this one and I want to add it to this circuit group. So I'm going to choose my tracker, then the parent that I want it to go into while holding Control P. Now I'll choose my tracker and page down, and there you go. It has been added. So this is an easy way to adjust things from one parent to another, is basically take it from one parent and give it to the other. But of course, when you're doing this, you will have to make sure that you are not overloading the combiner box or a load break switch. PVFARM always has an integer number of trackers connected to each combiner box, and those trackers must have an integer number of strings. If you want to learn how to calculate that, what we can do is come over to our equipment, and you see we've got a 400 amp combiner box, and the NEC multiplier or safety coefficient is 1.35. So let me just pull up my calculator. So I take 400 divided by 1.35. And then we're going to divide it by the string current. So with my tracker still selected, I'm going to go to my object details, and I see that our current is 13, so I divide that by 13. And it has 4 strings, so we also divide that by 4, which gives us 5.69. So about 5.5, so each combiner box can only have 5 trackers connected to it. PVFARM has done this calculation for me and divided the trackers up in what it considers the best way. So this combiner box now has the maximum amount that can be connected to it. So let's say I take this one and try to connect it to a different combiner box. Here's where we can press Control P. Then page down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so if you see now, this is now an overloaded circuit. That is one of the downfalls of this quick way to switch things. Because by moving things, the system is no longer controlling how the trackers are distributed, and you can accidentally overload a combiner box. So as you're making these changes, be sure to adjust accordingly. Like if I moved these, then I should make up for it by moving some over here. See now, this combiner box only has 2 attached to it because we took away the others. So definitely, as you're going through and swapping things around, make sure that you make adjustments and don't overload. A way you can visualize this is to open your low voltage panel. I'll run my LV wires real quick, and I'll select low voltage wiring 2 DMAP. This is going to give me a diagram of how my wires are running off of the bus line in the middle here. I'll load a previous save, run LV wires again, and open the 2 DMAP, and you can see the difference here in how that scheme is laid out. I can also close this and select my transformer, open my object details, and right here I've got the single line diagram option, so I'll click on that. And here I can see this information in the form of a single line. In the next video, I'll go into how to analyze everything we've just set up. Thanks for watching.